While Fuller House may be a family show, the Fullest House podcast is not. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the Fullest House podcast, for the mayor's hornbill is in crisis and we're the only ones who can help. Mr. Zach Horowitz has arrived.
Mr. Mark Greene has arrived.
And Mr. Harrison Bloom has arrived.
That's right, there's a butler in this episode.
I now I feel stupid for not doing a voice. But anyways, guys,
we can do it again. And Tyler, leave all of this in the episode. We moved past it. We need to
do it live.
We moved past it.
Yes, we're professionals.
But anyways, guys, this is a very exciting episode for the three of us because this is the first episode of the series that we have gone into completely blind.
Yes.
Our original watch through stopped at the last episode that we did, the episode we recorded last week. So this is the first time any of us have ever seen this episode.
And what an episode to return to.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird immediately watching an episode we hadn't seen before. I don't know about you guys,
sure.
but it felt different to me.
It felt different, very different.
Oh yeah, it was weird.
Yep.
I can't explain why, but we'll get into.
I know, because it's not like I remember most of the episodes detail for detail.
Yeah.
But just being exposed to new Fuller House content.
It's so rewarding.
It's crazy.
It's like, we've come so far. It's taken us like 4 years to watch this show.
Yes, that's true. We started in our last year of high school.
And that was now, 2017.
And that was 2017.
Yeah.
Now it's 2021.
It's 2021.
Harrison and I have both graduated. Zach's in a 5-year program. It's not because Zach's like bad at school or something. He's
I mean, I am, but that's only partially the reason. No, that's a joke. That's a joke, guys.
Zach's a smart cookie.
Yeah.
I'm a smart boy.
Nobody make fun of him on the playground.
Nobody make fun of me, okay? My dad works at Nintendo. He's gonna get you banned.
And that's true.
Yeah.
That's like 100% true.
Well, my dad works for Bungie, Zach. What are you gonna do about that?
Well, you know, my dad can beat up both of your
dads. Not go bungee jumping, apparently. If you're gonna bully me.
Wait. You know what I meant by Bungie? Halo? Really?
Oh.
Okay.
We are in new territory, but also in very familiar territory, because this episode starts with DJ walking down the stairs, all gotten ready for a date, and all of her kids go, ooh. So the episode does start with a DJ is hot reference.
Yeah, but this time she points it out.
Classic Fuller House.
You don't have to say that every time I wear something nice. And
to which the boys respond that they are legally obligated.
By Grandpa Danny.
It's a house rule by Danny Tanny himself.
Danny Tanny, the leader of the cult.
Yeah. Yep. And Max loudly goes, "Who's the best grandpa ever?" He also requires us to say that. I just have a couple of things about this exchange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One, I did think it was weird immediately that like they can be playfully going like, ooh, someone's dolled up. But also I thought it was weird for her kids to be going like, ooh, mom is hot tonight. And then they're like, well, we have to say that. But then I think it's pretty weird that Danny's like, anytime when your mom enters the room and she's looking nice, you have to make a comment about the fact that she's hot.
If you don't, you will get 40 lashings.
Like, do you think it's a thing where he's like, hey, be polite. Remember, if your mom's looking nice, just tell her that she's looking nice. Be nice, be polite. And they took it in a really weird way where they thought it meant that he's requiring them to go, ooh.
That's possible. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or do you think like Danny's just really weirdly invested in how DJ looks?
In my opinion, I think it's more so the second one, which is really weird that he's super invested in how hot his daughter is. Mm-hmm. But also, this brings up the question, what happens if they don't do that? Does Danny Tanner just like spawn in to give them...
Well, I think it's like Suicide Squad lashes? Where they have small explosives in their necks.
Yes.
And if they violate, like our favorite character Slipknot, their heads will explode. Remember Slipknot from Suicide Squad?
Slipknot
He was
from Suicide
introduced
Squad.
and then killed immediately.
He was introduced, and then 5 minutes later, he was dead.
Well, remember, he can climb anything.
He's the man who can climb anything.
He can't
That's
climb out
That's,
of
that's
death.
the only characterization he gets. Anyway, Matt arrives.
Matt arrives.
Matt arrives. Matt is here.
Matt
Yay,
is here.
Matt.
And he has a great business idea. He wants to start a pet concierge service. And if you're like me, you might be asking, what the hell is a pet concierge service?
Yeah. That was my first question.
I know. It was in the episode description, and I also didn't know what it meant. We thought maybe they were going to start a hotel for dogs, like the hit film Hotel for Dogs.
Shout out to Hotel
Indeed.
for Dogs.
I believe I did see Hotel for Dogs in theaters, and I don't remember anything about it.
I think I might have seen it too. I just that was a really big release when we were like 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a great title. But anyway, they're not... Luckily, DJ says to him, you mean we're going to just start making house calls? And he's like, yes. I don't know why they couldn't say we should start making house calls and instead had to call it a pet concierge service. But here we are. But great news for us. Steve arrives.
Steve is here. Yay. And Steve and Matt are very excited to see each other to the point where they do a nice little chest bump. They're like, oh my God, Steve. Oh my God, Matt. Chest bump. Boom. And it's like super cool and all.
I do want to make one correction there because you said a nice little chest bump. And I think what actually happens is they both throw their bodies at each other.
Yeah, actually, that's a better way of putting
chest
it.
bump.
Chest bump.
Chest
But you're
bump.
absolutely right. And it's very good. DJ's a little upset because she's like, she's saying, I don't want to start doing house calls and take away time from the things and people I care about. And Matt says, well, I already started making hats, so we got to do it. Also, we already got a call from the mayor of San Francisco that we need to take care of her hornbill. There's an emergency.
Oh boy,
You need to take care of her bird.
today.
Yep.
He's
He's
doing
really great.
well.
Steve is really excited to hear about the mayor and her hornbill because he's apparently a big fan of...
He's a big fan of local politics. And he also follows the Hornbill on Twitter.
Of
Yep.
course he does. To both of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like DJ's like, okay, sorry, Steve. I guess I have to cancel my date so we can go and take care of this hornbill. And then Matt's like, oh, by the way, I am deathly afraid of hornbills.
So
Because-
you need to yeah.
In veterinary school, one clamped down on the business.
So Matt was almost castrated by a hornbill, everybody.
Oh my God.
Matt is such a bad business partner in this
Yeah,
episode.
can we I know we just went over it, but I feel like I'd like to go over it all again, like exactly what happens in this scene. Matt comes in the middle of the night while DJ's about to go on a date with Steve and is like, hey, I've got this great business idea for the both of us. What if, instead of just like doing our normal jobs, we started working a shit ton of extra hours to go to people's houses to take care of their pets? And DJ was like, no, I have a life outside of work. And Matt was like, oh, that's a shame. Because not only have I already made a bunch of hats for this new practice, I have also gotten us a client for tonight. And I need you to do it because I'm deathly afraid of
And
hornbills.
these
Yep.
hats are terrible. They're like those ugly mesh hats, and
Yep.
the logo looks like shit. It's just a bad investment.
That is the most important part, that they are not good hats.
Yeah. There are hats nobody would ever wear.
I love the sequence of, I have a great business idea. I don't like that idea. Well, too bad. We're doing it tonight. And when I say we're doing it tonight, I mean you're doing it tonight. Because I am afraid of hornbills.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jinx.
Hijinks
ensue.
ensue. It's very good.
I love that Matt specializes in birds, but like this one hornbill has given him like like a phobia of that specific type of bird. Like when you eat a hamburger and you get sick right after, and suddenly you can never eat hamburgers again. Like,
I mean, to be fair, the hornbill did bite him in the nether regions.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty traumatic event.
I'm just wondering, why did he go? Why does he continue to work with birds?
Well, I was gonna say that also brings up the question: how did that happen?
That's also a good question. How far above the hornbill was he standing?
That's true. Well, it was a really low table.
Yeah.
It was really low table. And I do think in terms of having one negative interaction and being afraid of something, I do think I've mentioned it on the podcast before that I'm genuinely afraid of peacocks.
Oh, right. Yeah. 'Cause
I don't know if I haven't encountered a peacock in years, but I was talking to my mom about it once. And I said, yeah, I know when I was little, like, I was like, I don't know why, but like when I was little, I had this like nightmare that a peacock chased me around the zoo. And then my mom said, no, Mark, that happened. A peacock did chase you around.
That story
and I went,
is
well,
fantastic.
I feel a lot more justified in my fear of peacocks now.
Yeah.
That was just the craziest thing that ever happened, that I was like, oh, Mom, it's this crazy thing, this irrational fear I have. And then she's like, no, Mark, that fear's pretty rational based on your life.
You got assaulted by a large blue bird.
And since then, Mark has never been able to look at NBC the same way again.
It's just frightening. I respect it, but it's frightening.
Oh my god.
It's really tough because I do want to watch the Frasier reboot, but I'm just deathly afraid of the streaming service.
So anyway, what were we? Matt is the terrible business partner, and Steve is now going to stay at home and wait.
Yep, and that is the end of that scene, and then we move over to one of our favorite characters, Ramona, who's trying to make Danny, the baby, laugh with a frog puppet, and it's not working.
No,
Danny's a bad audience, I have to say. Not reacting so much, which I'm not going to fault Danny. I just want to put forward, we were saying some things about Tommy during our we were saying some things about Danny during our watch through, about Danny being a bad baby. And I just want to say, I'm not against babies. Like, I think Danny is okay. Tommy is a bad baby.
Wait, so you're back to hating Tommy?
Did I turn around on Tommy? I
don't think you ever turned around on Tommy.
I feel like we've gone through the story arc where you learn to appreciate babies, and then I don't know.
Babies maybe, but not Tommy, my mortal enemy.
Right. Okay, I was wrong.
Anyway, there's a very good line where Kimmy says, "Oh, I feel like it was just yesterday I was trying to make you laugh with a frog puppet." And Ramona says, that was yesterday. It was a very disturbing thing to wake up to.
Yeah. Establishing once again that the Gibbler family is fucking nuts.
Yep. Which, the Gibbler family being nuts is going to be a theme in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
But Kimmy wants to spend more time with Ramona, but because she's been spending all her time with her boyfriend Ethan lately. But Ramona has a date tonight with Ethan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
We go to... Oh, yeah, no. We don't go to Steph. Steph walks in, dressed like a cowboy.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
Yay.
Yeehaw, Steph. Yippee-ki-yay.
Yeehaw, Steph. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
I really wish you did like a Yosemite Sam voice. Oh, I hate performing at kids' birthday parties.
That's what she says. She says it just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back to this. Steph.
She says it word for word.
Yeah. We're back to the season annual episode where Steph decides she doesn't like her career.
Once a season, we deal with the fact that Steph has a job, actually. I was going to say deal with the fact that Steph is a children's entertainer, but it really is just once a season, they remember that Steph is supposed to have a job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's weird.
It's hard being a stay-at-home man.
Yeah.
But she has a job, and she doesn't like it anymore, and wants to do something more worthwhile.
Yeah, which she does say this time it's because she hates taking the time away from her baby. And if she's doing a job, it has to be something really worthwhile to take her away from her newborn daughter, which is, a little different from just, oh, Steph remembered she doesn't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
So it's justified. It's just very funny that they never make mention of Steph's job except for like once a season.
Yeah. But she officially quits Gibbler party planning. And then
and Kimmy the friend is very supportive and understanding. Kimmy the boss is gruff but also supportive. They do a joke where Kimmy says she's going to be Kimmy the friend and then Kimmy the boss. And as Kimmy the friend, she takes this bow and like puts it on her head. And it was sort of like, what is happening? Why is she doing this? And then as Kimmy the boss, she puts the bow under her nose and it becomes a big mustache.
That was good.
And she starts talking like this. And I liked that personally.
Yeah, I think the joke would not quite have landed if she didn't do that. No.
Maybe Kimmy was the Yosemite Sam all along.
Oh, yeah. You're right. She is very gruff.
She has a gruff voice as Kimmy the boss.
Mm-hmm.
She has a big mustache.
Yes.
Yes.
Steph should have given her the cowboy hat, and then she'd say like, "Oh, I hate that, Ethan, taking away my daughter Ramona, whom I love very much."
Yosemite Sam is so sentimental.
I'm a very sentimental person. There's a lot that really grinds my gears. I may come off with this gruff exterior. I put a lot of people off, and I acknowledge that.
Oh my God.
But when it comes to family, that's the most important thing. I'm very tender and caring.
This is all a story about family.
Indeed.
I'm the rootinest, tootinest father that's ever been.
So Stephanie quits her job, and then I guess it's back to the mayor's office?
Yeah, we go to the entry room, living room, where Ethan's going to arrive. So Ramona says to J Money and Max, hey, laugh like I just said something funny as I open the door. And they say no. And so Ramona starts laughing herself. Ramona starts laughing herself. She opens the door. Yeah,
Ramona's pretty great in this episode.
Ramona's pretty great in this episode. She opens the door and says to Ethan, she goes, ha ha ha, oh, I'm laughing because I just said something so funny and we were all laughing and not just me.
And Ethan takes it like a champ.
Yep.
Knows that his girlfriend is being weird and just ignores it.
Ethan is here for the ride, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That honestly may be the best way to sum up Ethan's character in this episode. Is he's just along for a ride.
Ramona's boyfriends.
Well, okay, all right. Ranking Ramona's boyfriends. Number 1 is obviously Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone.
Yes, I was gonna say maybe Ethan would be number 1, but I think Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone is just a funny idea and concept.
Yeah, I mean, how can you beat Marius Yo's the band Sexy Zone?
You can't. You can't be Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone.
You can't compete.
Ethan
with
is number
Marius Yo
2
of the band Sexy Zone. Ethan is number 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Ethan is number 2 because he has a heart of gold, and he was a big fan of Fernando, which was very funny. To me.
Yes. It's like the only character who ever recognizes Fernando as a famous race car driver.
Right.
Yes. Number 3. Does I have to ask a question. They never officially dated, but does Chad Bradley count?
I was thinking the same thing.
There's some tension.
The idea of giving Popko a bronze medal in the Ramona boyfriend rankings disgusts me. So yeah, put Chad Bradley at number 3.
Yeah,
and
Popko's at the bottom.
Okay. No. Chad Bradley. No. Chad Bradley is above Ethan at the very least. He's Chad Bradley. Are you telling me we're gonna rank Chad Bradley at not?
Look, Ethan, I think, is better for Ramona, is probably, I think, really works as a foil to Ramona in the same way that J Money is pathetic and Rocky is cool, and that's why they work together. Cool and edgy, and that's why they work together. I like that Ramona is very neurotic, and Ethan is just sort of happy-go-lucky and here for the ride. I think that kind of works.
Yeah.
But Chad Bradley, he is all that.
He's the coolest kid in school, and he's all that.
He's all that.
How can you beat our good, sweet himbo Ethan?
You can't beat a good, sweet boy. Good, sweet boy is my favorite character type. So
that's fair.
I think it's Japanese pop star, good, sweet boy. He is all that, which is, if you don't know, is a reference to the fact that the actor who plays Chad Bradley is the titular he in the movie He's All That, starring Addison Rae and Chad Bradley.
Addison Rae of TikTok fame, and also Chad Bradley.
Chad Bradley of Ramona's rival fame.
Yeah, Chad Bradley of Fuller House fame.
Of Fuller House fame, of Cobra Kai fame, of He's All That fame.
And then Popko, who's the worst.
Yeah.
That's, I think, my ranking. I think we've agreed.
Did
that's
she
the
have
ranking.
any more? Yeah. I forget. Did she have any more boyfriends, or is it just those 4?
I
feel like it was Popko that they made fun of her for not dating after Marius Yo.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was another one, then he was very forgettable, so he's not on the list.
But for all the time they spend making fun of Ramona for not having a boyfriend, is no one of her romantic interests? Like, is the ranking Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone, Ethan, Chad Bradley, no one Popko?
Yes.
Literally nobody.
We're just destroying Popko. He's just at the shit tier.
Damn.
He's in the phantom zone of the tier list.
We sent Robert Popko to the shadow realm.
Ramona is about to leave with her number 2 love interest. We sent Robert Popko to the shadow realm.
Number 2 love interest in all of Kazakhstan.
Vanished. But Kimmy invokes the Gibbler game night, which means she can't leave.
It's Gibbler game night. What happens if she just says, no, I'm not going to Gibbler game night? Does she...
she dies.
Bursts into flames. She bursts into flames and dies.
She dies.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And also, like, the house is gonna catch on fire. Like, she's concerned about the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because she can't burst into flames. Anyway, Kimmy invokes Gibbler game night. Fernando is very excited. He runs into the room, having heard that they're doing a game night.
Yep. He's very...
Zach,
he runs
you
in
theorized
on
that
cue.
Perhaps he heard it from his house and ran in.
like a moth to a light. Fernando runs in at hearing the sounds of Gibbler game night.
Yep. But Ethan says he wants to stay. He says that if this is where Ramona's going to be, this is where he wants to be, which is very sweet. Mm-hmm. And I think even Fernando, who's been very against Ethan because he's dating his daughter, like, he comes in and says, "Oh, it's you, the Postmates guy," even though Ethan is his biggest fan.
Yeah.
I wish they kept Ethan's fandom of Fernando in, because that would be the funniest contrast if Ethan is just fully a fan of Fernando and Fernando hates him.
Yep.
So DJ and Matt arrive at the mayor's office, which is very fancy.
Yes.
Has a dedicated butler.
This is a place of class. This is a place of true office politics.
Yes. Cunningham, the butler, is urging Matt to shave because his stubble is unseemly and uncouth in such a high-class environment.
This is not Seattle. I don't know why he hates Seattle.
He just dunks on Seattle.
Well, because he had a weird experience being a butler for a prominent Seattle radio psychiatrist and his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were just really kooky, getting into weird shenanigans.
I
And he
can see
thought
why
he had
that would scar
escaped
you.
that.
Yeah. He does not like Matt or his,
He does
his
not like
bad
Matt.
facial hair.
Yeah.
So, but they all come in. DJ comes in. and they
Unetta
meet them.
Boone, the mayor of San Francisco, comes in.
Yeah.
Yes, the
she
mayor.
is eccentric, very high energy, and
She's a lot. She's very high energy. She's immediately like, "You guys want a selfie?" Everybody does, and she like makes them take a selfie with her.
Yeah.
yeah.
But she has brought them here
Mhm.
because her prize hornbill, which was gifted to her by the mayor of Milan, needs its wings clipped because if he's able to fly away, it'll be an international incident.
I what?
I also love the idea, because you didn't mention this, Mark. They got Hornbill in a trade for Metallica.
Yeah.
We traded
How
away
does that
Metallica.
work?
The city of San Francisco traded away Metallica for a bird.
Have Metallica been entered into the U.S.-Italy slave trade?
That's a good point. She just traded multiple people.
Yeah, are we going to rename Enter Sandman into Enter the U.S. Italy Slave Trade? Am I right?
Oh
you
my
guys?
god. Damn.
Good joke, Mark.
Good joke, Mark. I'm sending you a virtual high five through Discord right now.
Yeah.
You know that slave trade. Always sending rock
Whoops.
bands in lieu
Yep,
of birds. I don't know why.
Yeah, and the mayor does not want Metallica back, so it is imperative that they clip this bird's wings. It is at this moment that we learn, or they leave, the mayor and the butler, and it is at this moment that we learn that Matt has brought a tranquilizer gun.
Yes, Matt has a gun.
Matt has a gun. He has brought a gun, a
Yes.
trank gun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the scene ends.
Yeah.
That's the end of my notes for that scene.
I love that it's not just tranquilizers. He brought the gun.
He
he's on a
has-
safari.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
willing to fucking shoot this bird.
Well, he's not going to get close to this bird.
Yeah, I
Are
was
you
gonna say
kidding
he
me?
does not. He spends the entire rest of the episode refusing to get close to the
But
bird.
that's what
Yeah.
DJ's for. Not the trank gun.
Exactly. DJ's the one who's got to do all the stuff with the bird.
Anyway, J Money and Max are watching Gibbler game night in
Very intensely.
wrapped. Yep, very intensely.
They have popcorn
they're
and
here
everything.
for the drama.
Yes.
They have popcorn.
They're just like sitting on the stairs while Gibber Game Night is happening. Steve comes down because he's just like doing things. He's just like also still here. Sees that they're sitting on the stairs and they're like, "Oh, it's Gibber Game Night." And Steve's like, "Okay, you never saw me. I'm going to go leave and do anything else."
Yep. But anyway, they're playing Pictionary. It's Fernando's turn. He has to draw Top Gun. Instead, he draws like a big squiggle.
Yeah.
For some reason, Kimmy doesn't get that that's supposed to be Top Gun, and Fernando blows up, yells at Kimmy, leaves the room, then immediately comes back on his hands and knees apologizing, and they kiss.
Okay, so Fernando wasn't supposed to do Top Gun as his choice, right? It was the clue was
No, he was
Top
given
Gun.
Top
He was
Gun.
given Top
The clue
Gun.
was Top Gun. Yeah.
Oh.
The clue was Top Gun, so we had to draw Top Gun so Kimmy would guess it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did she like close her eyes and ears or something? To,
Yes. Yeah.
Not-
She did.
Yeah, she closed her eyes and ears
Okay,
as Ramona
okay.
was saying it, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, Top Gun.
Fernando is just, and it's established that Fernando, despite knowing a lot of specifics about Top Gun, has never
Yes.
seen Top Gun.
He gets really angry. He storms off to go play some shirtless beach volleyball and watch Top Gun for the first time, claiming that Kimmy, by not guessing correctly, has disrespected Maverick, Iceman, and Goose.
Yeah. He knows it's about Maverick, Iceman, and Goose. He knows that they play shirtless beach volleyball. Maybe he doesn't know that it's about airplanes, and that's why he drew it poorly.
That's possible.
Maybe.
He like doesn't know what the movie is about.
He just
so
thinks
he was
it's like
drawing a
he just thinks
squiggle.
it's like a weird beach volleyball movie where they all have code names.
Yeah, he should have drawn Top Hat and Gun.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to Stephanie with her baby, and she's telling the new Danny Tanner. I keep not wanting to call her Danny Tanner for confusion purposes.
Yeah.
But she's telling Danny how she used to be a world famous DJ, which we keep pointing out because it's weird that the show doesn't talk about it more.
The show brought it up for like the first 5 or 6 episodes of season 1.
Yeah.
And then she just wasn't a DJ anymore.
Yeah, she just quits. But Steve enters. He's been doing maintenance work around the house to avoid Gibbler game night.
Yep.
And he tells Stephanie, because Stephanie doesn't know what she wants to do with her career. And he tells Stephanie that just because she's a mom, it doesn't mean she can't also follow her artistic passions.
Yeah.
And also he tells her that he fixed the bidet. And Stephanie says, we don't have a bidet. And he says, then I broke your toilet.
I really fucked up your toilet.
Yep. Which was a good line.
Yeah,
If
it's
anyone
very
asks, it was J Money.
That's what the follow-up to that line should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, he it's very good. He tells her she just has to figure out what she loves and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts singing a song to her baby and then goes, ooh, that's good. Anyway, back to
Sorry about that. Someone with a really fucking small dick just ran his motorcycle outside my apartment.
wonderful.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, we go back to maybe my favorite plot of the episode somehow, because usually I don't love the crazy insane plots and the ones that are DJ centric, but fucking Matt
Matt is
just
so good.
Matt is so
Matt
good.
steals the show in this episode,
Yep.
honestly.
My note as we cut back is Matt is hiding in the bushes. There was a plant in the mayor's office, and Matt is fully hiding from the hornbill.
He's hiding behind the plant on the other side of the room, like the complete other side of the room
Yeah.
from where the hornbill is.
Yep.
And he's like, DJ's gotta clip this bird's wings because I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
And DJ and Matt start fighting because Matt's like, you gotta clip the bird's wings. And DJ's like, you gotta clip the bird's wings. Why aren't you putting in any effort to this venture? And she's like, you took me away from my date to do something that I didn't want to do. And now you're not doing anything. And then Cunningham comes in and he's like, really? Fighting in the mayor's office. And he like shuts them up.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yep. But they notice that the hornbill has escaped to a ledge.
Yeah.
And by this point the wings have already been clipped.
Yeah.
So if it tries to
The wings have been
fly,
clipped, yeah.
it'll fall to its death.
Exactly.
Which to me begs the question, how did it get on the ledge from where it was?
I
'Cause it
think there
can't
must have been
fly.
a plant or a stool or something. I think it could have stepped up.
Maybe.
Probably
But
just jumped.
it just yeeted itself. But you know, they're like, oh god, how are we gonna get this hornbill down from the ledge? And Matt's like, stay back, I have a gun. It's a tranquilizer gun.
DJ's like, you can't shoot the bird with a gun, which, to be fair, DJ's pretty right. I think if he shoots the bird with the gun, it is going to fall over the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're struggling over the trank gun, and Matt gets shot in the foot.
Yes, DJ like makes Matt put the gun down and he accidentally shoots himself in the foot. And this is where Matt's performance goes from good to great.
Yes.
I'm so glad
it was,
they didn't go with like the stupid trope of the tranquilizer just instantly knocking you out. Instead they get loopy.
Yeah,
Matt,
Matt's
and
just
loopy
Matt's
Matt.
just
very
really
loopy.
loopy.
I really liked that, like, we were in this scene, and I think Tyler or somebody said, like, oh, is the bird gonna escape? Like, is that the obvious payoff? And I was thinking about it, and as Matt brought out the trank gun, I was like, oh, one of them is gonna get shot by the trank gun.
Yep.
And then Matt got shot by the trank gun.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. The hornbill walks back in, so that was a non-problem.
Yeah, the hornbill just walks back in at the end of the scene.
Yep.
And DJ's like, ugh, the hornbill just walked in. Now what are we gonna do? We didn't even need to use the trank gun.
And we don't know what we're going to do because we go back to Gibbler game night, where now it's Kimmy's turn to angrily blow up at Fernando, leave, and then immediately come back and apologize, and they kiss.
Yep.
And start, like, fully all over each other, like, wrestling on the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many children in that room.
Oh yeah, J Money and
Because, like,
Max have been
J
sitting on
Money
the
and
stairs the entire
Max
time.
are still
They
there.
move out of the way,
Yeah.
but they're still watching.
Yeah, Ramona and Ethan are there as well. And Kimmy and Fernando are so close to having sex in front of all these people.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
They're just rolling around on the floor together. Anyway, Steph has written a whole song for Danny. Steve comes in and is like, that song was great. You should record it. And Steph is like, maybe this is my career path. And
Writing
all of that.
songs.
Yeah, writing songs. I like doing
Which
that.
is what she was always
all of that
doing.
party planning stuff was.
Yeah.
All of that, yeah.
Like we just gone full circle.
All of that party planning stuff was stupid and I didn't like doing it. And it's like it didn't give much to the show. So the show didn't talk about it very much.
Yeah.
It's almost
Roasted.
like that.
Well, hey, never forget about the clown episode.
That's true. That's
the,
true.
The episode
Clown
where
episode.
DJ has a
Sudsy.
rivalry with Sudsy the clown. Thank you. I forgot his
Sudsy
name.
the clown. Yep. But Steve gets a text from DJ saying that she needs help at the mayor's office. And he rushes off like Batman.
Yeah, so he claims that he's Batman because he's wearing a utility belt and he's been called to the mayor's office. And he's like, I'm Batman. And Steve Hale.
Musical bits.
Yes.
Very good.
But yeah, we cut back to the mayor's office.
Well, actually,
Oh, do
we
we
go first. We go back to Gibbler game night. They're playing the game of life, and Ramona is not
yes.
doing well.
Yes, Ramona.
Kimmy and Fernando are rubbing it in her face. They are bad parents.
Yeah.
Can we just say?
Yeah. It's literally like the
They're
entire
like, look
thing.
at Ramona, who's a fucking loser.
Like Ramona's like, oh god, I got triplets, but I'm already in so much debt, and I'm not even a college graduate. And Fernando's like, oh, I guess your triplets can clean the pool at my mansion. It's like, Jesus Christ, Fernando.
I think at one point they almost literally go like, ooh, poor little Ramona, she's losing the game.
Yeah, it's a whole thing where it's like, everybody, let's fan ourselves with the money that Ramona doesn't have.
Yeah. And so Ramona flips the board and angrily storms off out of the house.
I like that she says it's anachronistic, patriarchal, and she wanted the green car. That was
It's very
perfect.
good.
The green
Ramona's
car
so
was
good.
the green car was the real tipping point for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because then she's got to play
It's
like
very
as
good.
like the fucking yellow car, and nobody wants to be the yellow car.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants
If
to be the yellow
to-
car. It sucks.
Yeah,
It's the color of pee. I don't want to be in the pee-pee car.
Mark.
You kidding
Mark,
me?
if your pee is yellow, that means you got to drink some more water.
I want to be in the green car.
Mark.
Green like the Hulk. The Hulk is strong.
Mark, I'm concerned
Oh,
for you,
Hulk is
Mark. I'm
strong as
concerned
there
for you
is.
and your yellow pee. You need to hydrate.
You don't know my hydration habits.
But I know that your pee is yellow.
I don't want to get into actual things about my peas.
Yeah.
I was making a very good joke,
know,
and
I
now
know.
you're saying, like, Mark, what is the color of your urine? For real.
We need to check you for hydration.
Hey,
purposes.
am I not allowed to be concerned for my friend Mark and his health? Moving on.
Anyway, Ethan goes out to comfort her, and he tells her, like, hey, I already knew your family was crazy. And he says, hey, a family that can fight but then make up that quickly, you must really love each other. Yeah, and there's a sweet moment where he says, you know, they've made up, and he says, like, hey, if I've been paying attention to the pattern of Gibbler game night, after you make up, you're supposed to kiss.
Mhm.
And they do a smooch. They kiss.
They do a little smooch.
Yeah.
They do a little smooch in action.
And then they wisely choose not to go back inside.
Yeah, he's like, please, I do not want to go back inside. And so they run away together.
They run away.
And then,
Then we
meanwhile-
cut back to the mayor's office.
Yes.
Matt is singing the theme song to Full House.
Yeah. It's quite meta. DJ's like, what are you singing? And Matt's like, I don't know, but it makes me happy.
Look,
Yee.
there was an episode that referenced subtly Dave Coulier, the actor,
Yes.
as a
Yeah.
real person,
Yeah.
and an episode that referenced
Candace Cameron Bure.
Candace Cameron Bure,
Yeah.
the actress. Both of
So-
whom are famous first and foremost for being on Full House.
Yes.
And now Matt has sung the theme song to Full House. So is Full House a real show in Full House?
Ooh.
there's just this random show. Do you think it's like the same, but all of the names are different? So they're just watching it and it's like, oh, it's weird that there's this show that follows our lives completely, but all the names are changed.
I mean, I went for the much more direct route and just in the Fuller House universe, it's just a docuseries about their lives.
It's a docuseries.
I'm just saying it's weird that there's a whole docuseries being made about them and they never mention it.
Yeah, it is weird. It is very weird.
Maybe there's some weird
it's like the Truman Show
shenanigans and Full House is really just Frasier in this universe.
Yeah, it has the same theme song and the same actors.
Yeah.
But
it's like, yeah, do you think it's weird how there's a sitcom that directly follows our lives and they all look exactly like us?
Oh yeah.
But Matt is pretty loopy and DJ's like, I can't believe you started this pet concierge business. We're gonna end this after tonight. And Matt says like, oh, I only did it because I need money because I'm so broke. I'm out of money. I have no money.
Because Gia is a shopaholic.
Because
apparently.
Gia is spending all my money.
I love Gia, but she is high maintenance.
Oh boy.
And then there's like a whole thing where Matt just keeps like saying his inner thoughts to DJ.
Yep.
And it gets to the point where he's like, you and Steve are also a good couple. Because she calls him and DJ calls Matt and Gia a good couple. He's like, don't tell Gia I said that. And Matt's like, you and Steve are also a good couple. And I knew you were still in love with him, even when we were dating. And I thought, what if I thought, because you knew you were still in love with her, but like you didn't know it yet. So I was like, okay, if I propose like really quickly, maybe she won't realize that she's in love with Steve.
Which is
wow,
really shitty.
Yeah.
Like we had talked about the Matt heel turn that he went on for a little bit, and apparently his heel turn started earlier than that.
And like also this is like
what a retcon.
Also, first of all, all that stuff, yes, but also Matt's entire plan was to marry a girl who he knew was in love with another man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Also, DJ reacts to this like, Steve and I are a good couple. I really do love him. And doesn't really acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Doesn't acknowledge the fact that Matt fully planned to trap her in a loveless marriage.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Matt? And what the fuck, DJ?
And then DJ says that she wants to marry Steve, and then on cue, Steve shows up, and Matt's like, Steve, chest bump, and then he fully throws himself out of the room and misses Steve completely, and it's very good.
He misses Steve and falls out of the room. I laughed at that maybe harder than I've laughed at any other joke in the show.
It was very good, because Matt literally just yeeted himself out of the room.
It was so good, so well executed, and also a thing where like, I think like a number of Netflix multicam sitcoms, a lot of the show can sometimes feel a little low effort. Like a lot of crazy things happen, but sometimes it doesn't feel like they've completely committed to what they're doing.
Yeah,
this was the biggest commitment to a single joke. They committed
to this bit.
So good.
And that we can respect that. You got to commit to the bit.
So good. I love it.
It's very good. Yeah, and Tyler's also saying that setup was perfect with the first chest bump at the beginning, which, yes, true.
Yes.
Like, they set it up, and the payoff was very good.
Set it up, paid it off. It was, again, maybe the hardest I've laughed at anything in this show.
It was so good, because literally he just yeets himself out of the room.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
Anyway, we go back to the house. Steve has set up a romantic dinner for him and DJ. DJ wants to tell him something. She's about to tell him something, presumably that she'd want to marry him, when Kimmy walks in and says, we're playing Twister and we need 2 more. Fernando is shirtless. Can we get you guys to play Twister with us?
That's like a whole thing that she's brushed over. It's like, yeah, we need 2 more people to play Twister if you want to play. Also, by the way, Fernando is shirtless. Felt like I should bring that up.
And they say like, yeah, we'll be with you in a second. Kimmy leaves the room and they say, grab the wine and run. And they leave the house.
And that's how the episode ends.
I like that multiple people who live in this house are abandoning the house to avoid Gibbler Game
Night. It's
a
known thing between the entire main cast that Gibbler Game Night is a thing that you should avoid. Unless you're Max and J Money, who just thrive in chaos. And I love that for them.
Yeah. Anyway, Sad Boy of the Week.
Yes, Sad Boy of the Week. I will say...
there are maybe multiple cases, but I think there's a pretty clear front runner.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
If I can explain my thought process throughout the episode.
Yeah.
So we start off with like the Gibbler Game Night thing. Fernando runs in like a moth to a light, and I'm like, ooh, I think this is a Fernando episode. And then the more I watched the episode, the more I realized it's gotta be Matt this episode. It has to be.
This is Matt's day, baby.
It has to be
Matt Day. Matt's Day.
Just to go over everything with Matt, I don't think we even have to bother with other nominees.
Yeah, we don't.
I was going to nominate Ramona if not Matt, but no, it's Matt.
I mean, Ramona is all right. Ramona and Fernando both have like pretty good honorable, like at least
honorable
worth
mentions.
But it's Matt by a landslide.
Yeah, Matt. From the beginning, he shows up to DJ's house in the middle of the night, says, I have a great business idea. She says no. He says, well, too bad. We're already doing it. We're starting tonight. Drop everything we're doing. Also, I'm afraid of hornbills, so you're going to have to do all the work.
Because
we find out Matt is afraid of hornbills. We find out a hornbill once attacked Matt's genitals. Matt comes in. He's immediately berated by the butler for having beard stubble. He brought a gun because he's that afraid of hornbills.
Yeah.
He bought a gun. He hides in the bushes in the mayor's office.
Oh my God.
He gets shot with a tranquilizer dart.
He
gets shot with a tranquilizer dart. Starts getting loopy. He sings the theme song to Full House. Also to this show. It's the same theme song.
Yeah.
He shouts to all of San Francisco that he's broke.
Yes.
He has no money. And then he tries to chest bump Steve and fully throws himself out of the room and onto the floor.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's such a good episode for Matt. He steals the show here.
And here's the thing. Sometimes we stretch the definition of sad boy because what we mean when we say we love our sad boy or we love sad boys in this show is just people who are so pathetic that we find it so hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are pathetic, but it's not super hilarious.
Yeah.
This was the funniest thing. Matt was so good in this episode.
Oh, yeah?
He was fantastic.
It's Matt all the way, baby.
Wait, I want to...
He killed it.
Hold on. I want to just get an accurate tally, because I think we may have... Okay, no, never mind. Matt is in fourth... Matt is now in the tie for fourth place in Sad Boy of the Week. I thought he was in third, but I think Tyler knew and updated the sheet way in advance. But, like, I did not expect Matt to have so many wins.
So good.
Yeah, I did not expect it either. He showed up today, though.
He showed up in a big way. I'd also like to wait on.
Yep.
I'd also like to point out, Matt has now won Sad Boy of the Week in 2 of the last 3 episodes. So like he's got like a very late push.
The last 4 episodes are just Matt and J Money.
Yeah, it's J Money and Matt alternating for the last 4 episodes.
They're battling it out.
Yeah. And J Money has a huge head start. But yeah.
So good.
We made a joke at the beginning of watching it. Like, what if Ramona's boyfriend isn't Ethan? What if it's like a new boyfriend and he just gets Sad Boy of the Week 7 times and beats J Money? But
well, I think he can. I think we calculated it last episode, and if one person wins this episode and all of the rest of them, they can only tie with
someone who hasn't won before, I should say.
So now
someone who hasn't won before, yeah.
So at this point, anybody who hasn't won Sad Boy of the Week cannot win the overall title.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyone who has won before, if they win every episode, could take it.
If I may say, the most notable person who hasn't won yet, Dave Coulier, Uncle Joey himself.
That's
out of
true.
the running
we really
for the
thought
winner.
He was.
Wow.
We really
Out
thought
of-
he was gonna win more.
Out of the 3 main like Full House dads, the fact that he has
Yep.
the least sad boy wins and is the only one without a win is weird to me. Because like Danny's
It's
got
astounding.
6,
Yeah.
and Jesse has. Let me find him on the sheet. Jesse has 2, and Danny has 6.
Well, can I put forth a theory?
Yes.
What?
I think we assumed he'd have more because anytime he shows up, we're like, ugh, Joey. But he doesn't have more because anytime he shows up, we go, ugh, Joey. We just don't like him enough to give him the win.
That's fair.
We're so mean.
We're so mean
Joey.
to Dave
so mean.
Coulier.
Nobody we're mean to deserves it.
No.
More than
No.
To be fair, we do love genuinely a lot of characters and things about this show,
Yeah.
I will say.
No,
Yeah.
it's an enjoyable show. We wouldn't have gone through 5 seasons of this show if we didn't enjoy
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, skip season 1.
Yes.
And maybe season 2.5. But like by the middle of season 3, we've settled into some good rhythms.
I forget when the Japan episode is. You gotta watch the Japan episode, if only for the really bad CGI fish.
Yes.
The very real fish?
The very real
Very-
fish.
The very real
Yes.
fish and Marius Yo of Sexy Zone.
Yes.
Yeah, that's worth it.
And I think with a new mention of Marius Yo of the band Sexy Zone, I think that's it for this episode.
It
Zach, you
is,
wanna take us
yes.
home?
All right, so that's going to be it for another episode of the Fullest House podcast. If you like what you just listened to, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Fullest House Pod. Once again, I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Mark Greene.
And I'm Harrison Bloom.
And until next time, may your houses be fuller and may your zones be dangerous.
Top Gun.
I went to the danger zone.
Musical bits.
Musical bits.